Aligning your 3D, 4D, and 5D planes of existence is what will actually help you crack the code to reality creation. What are the 3D, 4D, 5D? Basically, those are the physical, mental, and spiritual planes of existence. And I'll explain to you how you can actually do that in this video. I'll clear up all the confusion. I will give you honest, raw advice from my own personal experience and what worked for me. I'm here to just bring you clarity and save you so much time. If you don't know me, I'm Shri. I teach manifestation using the 7 pillars of manifestation, which is a process of aligning your 3D, 4D, 5D planes of existence. It's worked wonders for me. And I started from a worse place than most people when I discovered manifestation. Like total mental health issues, so much stress and anxiety, so much like toxic people in my life, negative experiences on autopilot. It was like the lowest, oh my god, the lowest baseline ever. And I overcame that and I transformed my life to a 180 using the 7 pillars of manifestation, which I'll be teaching you in this video as well. Now I've manifested living in my desired country. I've manifested my ideal friends. I've manifested genuine, true self-love and just so much peace, inner stability, and just so much relaxation. When in the past I struggled with so many mental health issues. I've healed all of that as well. I used to always get sick in the past, and completely now I'm like super duper healthy. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've manifested quitting addictions, getting my ideal wardrobe, my ideal style, changing my physical body, all of that good stuff. As well as I actually realized I'm currently living a life that the me 5 years ago would have never been able to dream of, would have never thought we could achieve such a big, wonderful life experience for. Life is good. I've manifested incredible life experiences. So I just want you to understand that I've been through it. I've been through that hopeless stage of confusion. And I don't blame you if you're lost and utterly baffled by manifestation, because there's so much content out there, you know? The law of attraction, the law of assumption, Neville Goddard, the law of vibration. It can get confusing. There's so many methods out there, like the 365 method or whatever. I've personally never used any method to manifest because it doesn't resonate with me. Like the method of just writing down affirmations in your notebook, I've never done anything like that to manifest. So if you don't like methods, if you don't like manifestation methods, don't worry. There's a totally so much more easier and fun way to manifest. That makes sense. And now this is like an issue that most people, they run into when they're trying to achieve, manifest, accomplish a desire. They only focus on aligning one of the 3 planes of existence. They either only focus on the physical or the mental or the spiritual. And this is what it looks like. Let's say someone is only aligning their 3D plane of existence. That looks like the physical world, right? The physical world, which is the world you see outside of you, the world which you can see with your eyes. That's basically the 3D plane of existence. And that looks like you taking a lot of action to get to a goal. That looks like you thinking hard work pays off and working hard, putting in the effort, but you're not aligning your mental plane, which is your thoughts, beliefs, your imagination, and you're not aligning your spiritual plane, which is your relationship to God. So, because you're not aligning the 4D and the 5D, and only pushing forward towards your desire with the 3D, you're going to end up chasing your desire. You're going to end up working hard, but no results at all. Nothing changes. For example, if you wanted to win over someone, if you wanted someone to appreciate you and like you and enjoy your company, you wouldn't chase after them, right? Maybe you are right now. I'm not judging you, but you wouldn't like desperately just chase after them. And even if they pull away, you're still like texting them and chasing after them. Like, hey, can we hang out? Hey, do you still love me? Hey, let's do this. Let's do that. And then you're putting all this action and action and action towards winning over this person, towards getting to that goal of yours. You're putting in so much effort, but for some reason, the results don't come. The person walks away. The goal that you have, maybe of getting good grades, you end up scoring really badly, even though you studied so much. You put so much work and effort towards something, but nothing happens. And this is the reason why. You're only aligning your 3D physical world and ignoring the two other planes of reality creation. You need to align all three to crack the code of attracting your desires. And now, what does it look like to only focus on 4D alignment? 4D alignment is our mental space, our thoughts, our beliefs, our imagination. And most people, when they discover manifestation, they learn, okay, I need to change my thoughts. I need to change my beliefs. I need to change the way I think, the way I feel. So what they do is they stand in the mirror and they look at themselves and repeatedly, they repeat affirmations. They say affirmations constantly in front of the mirror. They maybe listen to subliminals and they wait. They keep trying to visualize and do all these methods because they're trying to imagine and change their beliefs and their thoughts. And that is a crucial step to manifestation. Yes, that is very important. But you realize that technically while you're doing that, you fail to align the 3D and the 5D. Most people, when they're starting to manifest, they just sit there, they think thoughts, but they don't take action, and they aren't able to detach fully and shed away any attachment or blockages they might have because their 5D plane, their relationship with God, is not aligned. When you only focus on the 4D, you are unable to detach, and instead you are only relying on your own power to manifest. You think, if I align my thoughts, if I affirm hard enough, if I just relax and visualize hard enough, if I just script, if I just do this, if I just change my thoughts, if I just change my beliefs, and if I never have a negative thought again, then my desire will come, then I will be able to create my desire. But that is a recipe for high levels of attachment and desperation, and you will not be able to stop obsessing over your desire because all the pressure is on you to manifest it. Because you haven't fully aligned your relationship with God to your manifestation, and you aren't able to surrender to God, surrender to a higher power, and detach. If it's a little confusing right now, don't worry, I'll clear it up as we go through this video and we go through the 7 pillars of manifestation. So these two things are most common for people. They either only align their 3D, which is before you discover manifestation probably, and they only align their 4D, which is after they discover manifestation, and they just fail to take action, all of that. Now, what does it look like to only align your 5D? Your 5D plane of existence is God, your relationship with God, the spiritual world. This is something that's bigger than you, bigger than your thoughts, bigger than your imagination, bigger than the physical world around you. It's like a cosmic plane of existence where everything is created, where everything is returned to. When you align the 5D, this looks like you getting intuitive nudges, intuitive opportunities sent by God for you to take, which will help you get your manifestation, which will help you actually bridge the gap between what you want, what you're preparing for, and reality sending it your way. God will be sending you all of these things, but if your 3D isn't aligned, if your 4D isn't aligned, you will not be able to act on the opportunities sent to you, the nudges and guidance given to you. You won't be able to fully implement the things, the intuitive nudges and opportunities you are being sent in the world around you to receive your manifestation. So God is sending you all of these opportunities and nudges for you to act on and take. But since you don't have your 3D and 4D aligned, you're just like chilling, you're just sitting down, and you're just like waiting, like, why is it not here yet? Why is it not here yet? Why is it not here yet, God? And God is basically like, oh my God, I'm sending you all of this. Take it. Take these opportunities, please. So those are like the 3 stages people usually get stuck on when they're trying to manifest and get to a desire of theirs. Manifestation is very simple at its core. If you have the 3D, 4D, 5D aligned, aka the physical, your actions and your habits, and your mental, your mindset, and your spiritual, your relationship with God, a connection to a higher power, then your desire is inevitable and will manifest. It has no choice but to. It is inevitable. Either your desire will manifest or something better will come. Either way, it's a win-win. As long as your desire is authentic, of course, you will be able to manifest it without a doubt. Anyways, I'll show you how to do this right now with the 7 pillars of manifestation. I teach this specific way of manifestation because it is what has worked wonders for me. It is what has clicked for me. It makes the most sense. It's a practical way. It's easy to implement. And there's always like a bunch of action steps which you can do as well. And I'll be showing you how you can exactly align your mindset, habits, and relationship with God to manifest what you want through the form of a story. Because who doesn't like stories? They're fun. They're amazing. And the story is about a traveler manifesting their desire of discovering an ancient ruins and finding treasure. So sit back, relax, grab a drink. It's going to be really cozy. And we will begin. And before we get into the story, I just want to mention real quick that if what I'm teaching resonates with you, you think the 7 pillars of manifestation really, really resonates with you, you can work more in depth with me by joining my community, which is the Co-Creators Path / the Mindset and Habits Masterclass. There I teach really in depth on the 7 pillars of manifestation. There's guided action steps, easy ways to implement, and manifestation is just made really simple and really practical. So click the first link in the description if you want to learn more. Anyways, let's get into our story. This is a story about a traveler living in a small village who desires to find treasure in an ancient ruins. And this is how they'll start their journey. The first pillar of manifestation is clarity and life vision. This is making sure you get clear on what it is you exactly want and make sure it's authentic to you. It's creating a big idea for what you want your life to look like, your dream life to look like. So our traveler is living in a small village, and they are really, really passionate about exploring the forests surrounding their village. Ever since they were a kid, this is what was authentic to them, and they loved it. They loved going out into the woods, discovering things. They would find caves, they would go in the caves, they would find little pieces of jewelry, they would find treasures. And this traveler of ours absolutely adored the journey of exploring and finding different things. This is what they were really passionate about. So our traveler formed the life vision of becoming a full-time ruins adventurer. That was a big part of their life vision. Exploring the world, discovering new ancient ruins, learning about history, learning about the temples and the people that lived before them. This is what they are authentically passionate about. But, of course, they had to avoid the false programming and negative limiting beliefs that the other people in their village would try to install into them. You can't do that. It's too risky. Choose a safer path. But in the traveler's heart, traveling and adventuring was what's authentic to them, so they learned to not fall for the false programming. And then one day, while the traveler was just walking through their village, relaxing, munching on some fruits, they stumbled across a couple of locals talking about an ancient ruins around the area they were in. And then the traveler gets curious, like, huh, okay, ancient ruins, that sounds fun. I love exploring places, and goes and talks to the locals. The locals then, they explain about how they've heard rumors about there being an ancient ruins that contains the treasures of an old king that was living there. And this ruin was actually very, very difficult to find. A lot of people have embarked on this adventure of finding this ancient ruins, but no one really found it. No one was able to find it, and they just went home. The traveler gets curious, like, huh, that sounds pretty cool, but no one has done it before. Can I do it? And then the traveler realizes, yes, I can do it. There is a small voice in their heart that says, I can. So the traveler asks more questions, like, okay, this ruins is pretty far away from our village, actually. It seems kind of like a risky journey, but there's a voice in my heart that tells me I would authentically love to go do this. And that is an authentic desire to the traveler. It's not a desire formed from the ego, which is basically our validation-seeking side and influenced by external people and external things. This desire came from the traveler's heart. So the traveler then decides, this is my desire and I am going to manifest it. I will find and discover the ancient ruins. And this moves on to the second pillar of manifestation, the laws of the universe and subconscious reprogramming. The thoughts that you filter out as true form your beliefs, which forms feelings in your body, which results in action, and action is what creates your reality. The traveler understood that in order to manifest their desire, they had to align their mental plane of existence, their 4D, because the elders spoke about the laws of the universe as the traveler grew up. When the traveler was young, the traveler consumed and read a lot of books on the world, the workings of energy, the workings of the universe, and received knowledge and whispers from God as well, intuitively. The traveler knew from the teachings that they received that reality was simply a mirror to them internally. Reality, the world around them, simply reflects back what they are, who they are, and what they believe, what they expect, and what they assume to be true. And the traveler realized, okay, I have some negative stories. I have some negative beliefs in my mental plane, in my mental world, that don't align with the version of me, that don't align with the desire that I want to see reflected back in my reality. And the traveler knew, okay, so all of the beliefs I have now, all of the thoughts I'm thinking now, the way I view my identity now has resulted in the world, current world in my village that I see in front of me right now. So if I want something to change, then I must change myself. All of these teachings then help the traveler to change their mental plane, to rewire and reprogram it to align with the person, with the version of them that has their desire. So they said goodbye to their old identity and welcomed in and embodied their new successful identity that has discovered the ancient ruins and walked away successful. Of course, in this process, the traveler experienced certain triggers in their body because change creates resistance, and they have successfully passed and let go of those triggers, and they have succeeded in their identity, shifting and aligning their 4D world. Now, the traveler then begins the third pillar of manifestation, which is the God-led co-creator. This is 5D alignment, spiritual alignment, aligning and growing your bond to God. The traveler knew that this journey was risky. This journey was going to be long. This journey was going to be tough. And it might not even yield results. And the traveler also knew that the only things that they can control on this journey are their own thoughts, their own mind, and their own actions. Everything else was unpredictable. Everything else was crazy. They don't know what's going to happen. They can't predict it. They can't control anything other than their thoughts and their actions. Yet, they knew in their heart, in their soul, that their thoughts and actions were enough because they trusted in a power greater than them. They trusted in Source, in God, to do the rest. On this journey, there's very, very, very unpredictable experiences. What's going to happen? Who knows? But the traveler had full faith that the process will be okay. They knew that they should trust the process because God, the universe, has their back. And the traveler had a very deep bond to God ever since they were younger. And they grew their bond over the years. Of course, it fluctuated. But their bond was so strong that they weren't afraid. And it gave them the courage to step forward and the courage to actually embark on this long, risky, unpredictable journey. This desire of theirs was crazy. It was illogical. They didn't know how they were going to get to the ruins. They barely had information on the location. They barely had any idea of where to start looking for it. They didn't have that much information at all. And this was a ruins that other people have attempted to find but were unsuccessful. It was crazy. It was illogical. But the traveler knew, I'm not doing this only relying on my own power. I'm also doing this with the Creator, with the one that created everything around us, with our loving, kind, comforting, protective, incredible, generous Creator that has brought everything to life. And nothing is not possible for our Creator. So with that trust, the traveler felt safe, comforted in the knowing that things will work out, and in their deep love and trust in a higher power. The traveler is also able to detach from their desire, which is very important for manifestation, because when you obsess, you subconsciously repel. So the traveler detaches and finds courage to just be brave and take the risk, step out of their comfort zone into the unknown. And now that brings me to number 4, which is emotional healing and shadow work. Bags are packed. The traveler packed all their bags, brought a bunch of food, filled a lot of canteens with water, and they put their rucksack on their back, and they're carrying their walking stick, ready to leave the village gates and ready to go and actually begin their adventure, to actually venture out and manifest their desire. So the traveler is walking, humming a nice tune, and approaching the gates of the village, their boots crunching beneath the gravel. And as they reach the end of the village and are preparing to take their first step out, suddenly they experience a huge rush of negative emotions, of negative thoughts. I'm scared. This is scary. We can't do this. It's terrifying. We're gonna fail. Let's go back. No, it's too risky. We're gonna mess up. I'm scared. What if we end up in a horrible place? What if other people judge us? All of these horrible negative emotions all come up. All of these emotions and feelings all come up. Fear, anxiety, grief, shame. They all come up. And it's too much for the traveler. So they can't. They run back. They go back to their home. They go into their bed. They take off their rucksack, throw it on the ground. They throw their walking stick on the ground and hide under their bed. These emotions are too much. The anxiety is too much. To the point where they can't even take action to begin their journey. They are self-sabotaging themselves. And after laying in the bed, the traveler is like, I want to try again. And then gets up and tries to leave the village once again. But again, the emotions come up. Again, they just feel repelled, they feel blocked, and they don't know why. And the traveler goes back to their home, under the covers, under their bed again. And it's not like the traveler wants to feel these emotions on purpose. On the contrary, they want to go out. They want to do it. But they can't because of the emotional blockages, the emotions and the blockages within them that are not allowing them to receive their manifestation, not allowing them to actually take action towards their desire either. And this is what gets most people tripped up when they manifest. They want a desire really, really badly. They want it because they know it'll make them happy. Consciously, with their mind, they want it. But their body is repelling them from the desire. The body's telling the desire to go away because your nervous system does not feel safe. When your body does not feel safe, when you are constantly in a state of flight or fight mode, you would rather feel safe than happy. That's why we must heal this nervous system tendency of just putting us in flight or fight mode. And instead, relax, come back to a baseline where we're calm, we feel safe and secure. Because when your nervous system is dysregulated and feels unsafe, anything new, anything different, anything like that you're not used to, such as your desire, such as the traveler trying to go on a new adventure for the first time, you will reject it. Your body will reject it because it signals new equals danger to the nervous system. And predictable, comfortable, the same equals safe. And your nervous system will stick to what's comfortable and safe and make you self-sabotage, make you procrastinate, bring up all these emotions that just overwhelm you and just sabotage you to keep you safe, rather than let you go out and try something new, let you receive your desire, which is new, which you're not used to, which will make you happy. The traveler understood this and knew that they had to heal these emotional blockages and let go of them to actually be able to receive their manifestation and feel calm, feel peaceful, be at a good baseline where they can then go out of their village and then successfully, without self-sabotaging, do all the actions and have their nervous system be able to receive their manifestation. So the traveler approaches the village gates again. This time, they have successfully healed their emotional blockages, and they know that in their heart. So they walk up to the gate, gravel crunches beneath their feet, their rucksack is on their back again, walking stick in their hand, and then they trek out of the village freely and are open and completely mesmerized by the beauty of the world around them because they chose to heal themselves back to their baseline. The traveler is now walking and looking at the beautiful sights around them, the rivers, the lush greenery. They drink water from the river, they stop to rest for a while, and moves on to the fifth pillar of manifestation, which is 3D action and 3D alignment. Since the journey is not going to walk itself, the traveler sets off, boots crunching in the mud, and trekking across rivers, seeing a lot of insects and creepy crawlies in the forests. And as they move through the plains, they see the bright sun landing on their eyes. And they set up camp. They cook food, camping under the stars. It's really peaceful, and the traveler enjoys the process. They also take action to visit towns where they speak to the locals there. They read the newspapers, they read ancient texts, looking for information on where the ancient ruins could be. And the traveler gets bits and pieces, continues their journey, visits another village, gets bits and pieces of information. They don't have it all figured out, but they trust the process and they're doing what they can with what they know. And one night, the traveler is just sitting under the stars, having eaten a beautiful meal that filled their stomach. It was delicious stew, alone, their feet touching the grass, staring at the sky. They're camping outdoors on their journey. And the traveler appreciates the process, They find the journey fun. And the next day, they know they're going to repeat this. And they're going to keep looking and looking and looking repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly. They're having so much fun on this journey, enjoying camping outside, enjoying meeting all these people, that it's actually really, really, really pleasurable. And they're not doing it just for the reward. They actually enjoy the process. And this is very crucial for manifestation as well, if you're trying to manifest achieving meaningful goals. Most of the goals we have, they take action in order to get to them. These meaningful goals, such as maybe having a successful career, or growing a successful family and raising them well, or getting your dream body, improving your health, all of it takes action. But this kind of action is consistent daily action, not a one-time big kind of action which randomly results in you being successful. And this is what we really go in depth in the Mindset and Habits Masterclass, the Co-Creator's Path. We break down your authentic life vision, your ideal dream, illogical, amazing life that would make you feel the most happiest and authentic. We break it down into actual action steps and habits which you can implement immediately into your life, so you can actually start making your dream a reality. And slowly, bit by bit, with small, consistent action steps, you will end up transforming your life completely. And in manifestation, action is very, very, very important. And that's why I have this specific pillar to help you align your 3D, your physical actions and all, and your habits, to your desire, to your ideal life, to your life vision. Because through action is how you will actually feel proud of yourself, that you're on the right path, and enrich your life so much and enjoy the journey of living when that action aligns with what you want to create. And that brings me to pillar number 6, which is universal tests and cycles. As a traveler is aligning their mindset, their habits, and their relationship with God to their desire, they will experience manifestation tests. These manifestation tests are given to you by God or sent to you by the universe to determine if you are ready or not to receive your desire. And the traveler is currently now trekking through the snowy mountains. They have traveled across a lot of different plains. They've looked and tried to find the ancient ruins. They've been taking action towards it. And so far, they visited a couple spots, but nothing really good happened there. They couldn't find anything much. And now they're in this cold tundra mountain area. The snow is nice. It's cooling on their face. They bought a winter coat at a town nearby, and they're enjoying the boots crunching the snow beneath them. They're catching a couple of snowflakes on their hair, and they taste a couple with their tongue. It's been really fun. They're enjoying the journey. And then what happens is that the traveler, as they're crunching their boots through the snow, they suddenly trip over something hard. And they faceplant onto the snow, and their face is covered with snow. The traveler curses a little, brushes the snow off their feet, off their clothes, and gets up to see what did they trip over, because, ow, that was hurt. That was hard, and it seemed pretty heavy. And they see something gleaming inside the snow, something big, and they brush it off with their hands. It seems like it's a part of a statue. So the traveler brushes off more snow, brushes off more snow, brushes off more and more and more and more, until they can see the full statue. And they keep at it for around 20 minutes. And then the statue is revealed to them. It's a beautiful ancient statue of a mountain lion. And the statue has gleaming beautiful jewelry and jewels embedded on it and sculpted onto it. The traveler is like, wow, this statue, this is incredible. This is going to be worth so much money. Oh my goodness. Whoa. And the traveler is overjoyed. But then the traveler starts to think, wait a minute, I'm on this mountain alone. how am I going to transport it back? If I do transport it back, will I still be able to continue my journey? And then the traveler realizes that if they were to settle for keeping the mountain lion statue and returning back to their village with it and selling it and earning, let's say, around 10,000 gold coins, they would have to give up on their journey because they've already come so far. If they return now and sell the mountain lion, they can't continue going to the ruins and the potential treasures that the ruin would give them, which is way more than the reward the mountain lion would. But the traveler thinks, well, it's not perfect, but should I settle for it? Would it be okay if I do settle for it? It's not the ruins that I was manifesting, but this is almost it. This is almost the same treasure that I wanted to find at the ruins. But if I do settle for this, then I can't manifest that. Then I can't manifest that. But even then, this is a huge opportunity. If I give up on this, I don't know if it'll come back. Because what if someone else treks up the mountain and finds the mountain lion statue while I'm still searching for the ruins? I might not even find the ruins. But if I leave this behind, then there's a chance that I won't find the ruins and someone else will come and take it. And so all these thoughts are whirring in the traveler's mind. All of these thoughts are coming in their mind. But the traveler knows that God does not want them to settle. And the traveler's faith in God and a higher power is so strong that they decide, I do not want to settle, and I will still go and manifest my ancient ruins, even at the cost of leaving this almost thing behind, which I found now. And so the traveler looks at the mountain lion statue, decides that I deserve better than this, and then continues their path of trekking across the snowy mountains. And then the snow piles on the mountain lion statue as they walk away. This is the traveler actually passing a manifestation test. This is one of the manifestation tests that you will experience on this journey of aligning your 4D, 5D, and 3D. And the traveler successfully passed it. This is the test of self-worth and faith. And now it's time for the final pillar of manifestation, number 7, which is divine aligned action, inspired action, and intuition. After passing tests, after persisting in their manifestation and on their journey, trusting in the unknown and trusting in the power of God, something magical, beautiful, and divine happens. Divine timing. The traveler is now trekking and walking through a beautiful woodland forest. There's birds chirping around them. The sun is warm on their skin. They're carrying their rucksack. They're walking throughout the forest in utter peace and utter bliss. They feel good. They feel happy. They feel fulfilled. And as they're walking, they see a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opening. There's a waterfall. There's a small little pond around it. There's rocks. There's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful water. And they decide, okay, this seems like the perfect place to rest and set up camp. And so the traveler sits down on the warm grass. The birds are chirping. The animals are skittering and running around. They sit down, set up their tent, and then they go out into the forest for a bit. They pluck berries and start eating it. The juices are really sweet and delicious. And they decide to just relax by the water, completely at peace. The traveler has successfully detached their ego from their manifestation, which is very important in order to receive your desire. They're successfully detached. They're living in the present moment. They're just enjoying the feelings of already being fulfilled. And while they are doing that, they suddenly get a spark in their body. They suddenly get an intuitive nudge in their body. And as they're sitting near the waterfall and munching on their berries, they reflect back on their journey. They've taken action, do the best that they can, They've aligned their mind to the best that they can. They've looked at places where the other villagers told them to go, and while they still did only find dead ends, like all their past sightings only led in dead ends, they still are very strong in their faith and in their knowing. The traveler is so deep in their knowing that they will inevitably, it is unnegotiable that they have already discovered the ruins. They're so deep in their knowing that nothing phases them. That is simply the truth for them. And so as they're relaxing and watching the little tadpoles hop across the water near the waterfall, they suddenly get a huge nudge in their body, a huge spark in their body. They feel a very, very sudden, strong, intuitive pull to go and wet their hair under the waterfall. The traveler knows how to recognize intuitive guidance and sees it for what it is, but it's a little, is this actually intuitive guidance? Seriously, you want me to wet my head under a waterfall? Are you kidding me? Why? I'm dry. I don't want to wet my hair. And so as the traveler was thinking that, after they got the intuitive nudge, immediately, like a second later, a bird is flying above them and splat, just poops on top of their head. And then the traveler recognizes, okay, fine, this is an intuitive nudge to go and wet my hair under the waterfall because a bird went splat on my head. And the traveler is very in tune with their intuition, so they can pick up on this divine guidance very easily. And so they take off their coat and then they approach the waterfall. They're approaching it, they're acting in alignment with the divine guidance that they received, and they are doing something known as inspired action. They are taking action from a place of embodying and aligning with their desire instead of trying to simply force their desire to happen, which we talked about. Forcing, trying to achieve it without aligning your 4D and 5D will just end up in you repelling your desire. But this kind of action is special. This is divine aligned action. And divine aligned action is the final puzzle piece to receiving your manifestation. So the traveler goes under the waterfall, wets their hair, shakes water droplets out of them, and then they notice something as they're standing under the waterfall. Behind the waterfall is a weirdly shaped rock. They pick up on it, and they, again, get another pull. They go to the rock, and then they notice, like, wait a minute. This rock was actually placed here. I can move it. It's not supposed to be here, and it's not natural. So the traveler feels such a strong pull, and they do it again. They pull back the rock. They use their body. They push and push and push. They pull back the rock, and then it leads to a small opening. The traveler notices it, walks through the opening, crouches down a little bit, and then on the other side is the ancient ruins which they have been manifesting. And they have discovered the ancient ruins, overjoyed, ecstatic, of course. But deep in their heart, there's a knowing that this was inevitable and this was always theirs. So the traveler sees the ruins and, of course, takes the treasure, returns back to their village, and is lavish with their success. So this is the 7 pillars of manifestation. And of course, if you want to learn more, you can check out the first link in the description to join the Co-Creators Path / the Mindset and Habits Masterclass in my community. Anyways, thanks so much for being here.